this video, we'll discuss two additional ad formats in Facebook, namely carousels and slideshows. So the main idea of carousels and slideshows is there's something like an in-between between a single image and a video. So they provide more information than a single image and are a little bit more engaging, and they provide less information than a video. So generally they are used when an image is not enough and a video is too much. But we tend to test them pretty much always. So whenever we make a campaign, we always test these for ad formats. And when we talk about carousels and slideshows, they are very, very good for presenting a range of products or services or different value propositions. But they can also be used in different creative ways. So for example, you can tell a story with different carousel cards or a slideshow. You can make a bit of a short presentation, or in general provide a little bit more information. As I said, they're good when an image is not enough and a video is too much. And a video can be too much. If your offer is very simple and low risk, you can mainly use one of these formats to present your value proposition in a quick and easy way. And that's an additional benefit of these types of ads, is that they're very simple, very easy, and very cheap to make. Videos are harder, more expensive, and more time consuming to make. So even though they are generally considered the best performing ad format on Facebook, carousels and slideshows still have their place and can be the best option in certain cases. Think of them as a mini presentation of your value proposition, or a possibility to present several value propositions at once. Like with a single image, you can't really present shoes and a belt, right? You can only present one thing. But with carousels, for example, you can have different types of products and they can have different URLs. Right now, we will kind of go over these advertising formats and show you how they're done. But always keep in mind that with Facebook ads, the AIDA formula is king, and you should always try and contrast your ads to pop and kind of be different than everything else in the Facebook feed. Right, so let's jump on to the Facebook ads guide. Here you can actually find some information on the carousels, but there's no information on the slideshows. But I'll tell you what you need to know. So first of all, we'll start with the carousels. They have a minimum number of 2 cards, which is important. You can't have a carousel of 1 card. You can have a maximum of 10 with some kind of disclaimer, but a dynamic ads in carousel format may have up to 200 cards. So it can be very, very dynamic, right? You can have your products or product feed in a carousel, and so they can have more than 10 in theory, but up to 10 are presented. And there is a landing page URL requirement, and the rest is kind of similar to the other ones. Now you can actually create a carousel of videos, but there's very few cases in which you can find a good use for that. Now this is a great example here from Air France, how they're using the carousels to present different value propositions, like different locations you can travel to with Air France. And that's a great use of the carousel. So the carousel is mainly used when you have several value propositions. So let's create an ad to show you how they work. So we'll go with an existing campaign. We'll use our new campaign and just go on with that. Now, in order to create a carousel ad, you need to select the carousel format. The carousel format can be found over here. And when you create the ad, first of all, you need to name it. So in this case, for our little carousel ad, we will be making an ad for Startup Masters. our agency business, and we will be offering some case studies, and our copy will be for the case studies, and our creative will be a carousel. So let's call it carousel 1 or carousel case studies. And then when we get to the ad setup, we select carousel. We are not going to be doing an instant experience or playable source because we want to send people to our website. So first of all, you need to set up your cards. It's normal that you see an error in the beginning because you still have not set up your cards. First of all, there's two options over here. Manually choose images, videos, and links. And then that kind of allows you to create your cards yourself. But if you do have a product set or product feed from your online store, just like I showed you before how to set them up, you can use your product feed to dynamically generate cards for your carousel ads. A lot of people are actually do that, especially online stores that sell kind of cheap stuff, you know, not very risky value propositions for in the eyes of the customers, and so they can just see some cool products, scroll through them, and if they see something like they can go and click and go directly to the product page of that specific product that they selected. In this way, carousels are very, very useful. So, but in this example, I will show you a kind of a creative use of using carousels. So first of all, you need to select your image. I will select this one. I already uploaded them for your convenience. And we want to write a headline for it. So the headline, this one will be an e-commerce business. We are doing case studies again. So we want people to know that this is a case study for e-commerce, and we want them to be $15 million, right? So in this case study, we show how we took a business from $200,000 to $15 million, and the URL that we are going to be using for that is, let's go to the Startup Masters website, get our URL. We'll go to the case studies, and we will select this one. So this will be our URL. Then when we go here, we want to add our URL in the URL builder because we want to be tracking our links always. So this one will be for the Startup Masters campaign, and the term here we are targeting marketers, so we'll go with marketers, and this campaign content will be our slideshow for the Fruity card, right? So we want to be able to identify every single link. So this is what our card is going to be. We want to be able to track in Google Analytics or our tracking software exactly which card got us the juice and the sales. That's why we track our links. Now we'll set up our next card. We'll add media, add an image, and add image. Oops, sorry guys. We don't want to actually add images. We'll remove that. We'll just do one with 3 cards. So we'll go with this one, select our image, and this will be this one. So in this case study, we are increasing orders by 38% and the order value by 41%. So let's find that case study. Go back. This is the case study for dream catchers. And let's take it over here. Go to the builder. And since everything else is the same, we are going to go and call it DC, get our URL, go back to Ads Manager, fix our URL, and this one will be, let's say, here in beauty, and our headline will be increasing $40. What was it? Right, increasing order value and orders. And our third card will contain a very brave case study on going after a $650 billion market, and we'll name it going after a huge market. And the description here will be online banking. Right, and we'll go back to the case studies, get the correct URL. This is this one for ING Bank, and we'll go back to Ads Manager, first to the URL builder, and this will be, we'll call it ING. We'll copy the URL, paste it over here, and now we have our carousel ad. So in order to preview it at this point, I always recommend that you view it mobile first, and this is how our cards look. Right, we have a case study of going from 200 to 15 million in 2 years, and a call to action of view case study. We have our short and nice titles and descriptions, and our cards are ready. Now, before we finish this, there's a few important options that you need to know about. First of all, you can add more cards. You can add images or videos. We don't want to do that right now. You can also edit the placements. I won't go through all of them, and there's also, later on I'll show you a better way to create ads that allows you to view all their variants in Creative Hub, but we'll do that a little bit later on. And these two are very important. First of all, there's this option that says automatically show the best performing cards first. So what does that mean? That means that over time, Facebook is going to use their algorithm and see the ads that are most clicked on and the most engaging for users, and they're going to show them first and order the cards in order of performance, which is great. Now, the only reason why you might not want to use this option is if you're making a carousel where the order of the cards matter. If you don't want the order of the cards changed, then you deselect that option. A good example would be if you want to tell a story with your carousel cards, but 99% of the time you want this to be on. Now, at the end, there is a card that shows your profile page picture. So just to show you how that looks, when someone goes through all of your carousel cards, generally they will end up with a card that shows your profile page, right? This is kind of the profile picture of your Facebook page, and this is how this card is going to look. Now, you can remove that. In this case, I may want to remove it, or I may want to add an additional see more URL where people can go to the general case studies page and kind of check them all out. So this is what I'll do in this example, and I will add this URL over here. Again, before adding it, we want to fix that. Oh, by the way, I messed up the links over here, but that doesn't matter since we're not going to run that ad anymore, but be careful not to mess them up. So this is the general page, and this is let's call it all, right? So fixed link over here. Let's see where we messed up. Yep, they are all leading to the same page, so you need to be careful about that. So let's fix those quickly. this is our third card, and we want to fix that part of the URL, and then we want to fix the one for Dreamcatchers, was it? Here's Dreamcatchers, and we want to fix that as well, just to make sure that our ad is not wrong. And it's a good example that you should be careful about putting the right links in and tracking them as well. Now I can also choose to remove that card. Now, just like any ad on Facebook, carousel ads have their primary text. So this, in this case, we'll say, check out these amazing case studies to learn to get inspiration and ideas on how to grow your own business. Right. Or maybe we could say something like, check out these amazing case studies to get inspiration and ideas on how we achieve these amazing results. Doesn't matter. Copy is not what we are aiming at right now. Now we have the see more display link, which will be just this part. We don't want to have tracking parameters in our display link. Our call to action will be learn more. That's the most adequate button for this one. And we don't have any of these other things. We have our Facebook pixel set up correctly, and now our ad is ready. So let's expand it. Let's make it, let's see it in the desktop newsfeed because it will be a little bit bigger. And so this is how it's going to look. So check out these amazing case studies to get inspiration and ideas on how to grow your business. And this one is from 200,000 to 15 million in 2 years. View case study, good call to action. And then we have some more information. So what I want to do now is I want to go back to the Facebook ad check and see, is it social stopping? Is it going to stop people scrolling through their feed? This is check number one that we need to perform. And here for marketers, that might be an interesting thing where they see from 200,000 to $15 million. I want to know how you did that, and maybe they'll click. This is our logic. At least it has a sound logic. Then does it have a clear value proposition? Yeah, check out case studies, learn how to get inspiration and ideas about your business. Is it relevant to the audience? Yes, marketers want to know these things. Does it have a clear call to action? View case study? Yes. Builds brand awareness, has our branding, has our logo. And the ad copy enhances the visual. Yes, the CTA button is adequate. Leads to the goal. What's the goal of this campaign? We want people to read our case studies, and in case they're interested, maybe they want to work with us and get us to build a branding for them or help them with growing their business. And so when they see how we do it, they may give us a call, and we will generate leads for our agency business. It does correspond to the landing page. We are advertising case studies, sending people to the case studies, and all of it makes sense. Good. Now, this ad is done. Now, the checks are fail-safes. So this does not mean that this will be a good ad. All right. We had an earlier video in the beginning of this course about all the things that we need to consider to get a successful campaign overall. And that would be maybe our case studies is not good enough. Maybe a copy is not good enough. That doesn't matter right now. We have the checks. And so this is how you create a carousel ad. And we use carousel ads when we want to present more than one value proposition in general. And in the case that an image is just not enough and we need a little bit more information that we want to show to our customers, this is where we go to our next ad format, which is the slideshows. So let's create a slideshow ad right now. In order for you to create a slideshow ad, apart from there being no information about slideshow ads from Facebook, which is kind of weird, you have to go to single image or video, and as you can see, one image or video or a slideshow with multiple images, right? So slideshows are hidden here behind the single image or video option, and when you select that option, like for example, if I select carousel, there's no option like this, and if I select single image or video, you can see that I can create a slideshow. So let's click that button and see how that works. First of all, there's two formats in which you can do it, either square or vertical. Now, vertical is kind of tricky because as you can see, vertical is the ratio is 2 to 3. It's not the same as the image ads vertical format for some reason, which I don't know, to be honest. You also have rectangle, which is not displayed over there, but you can actually use rectangle. This will be the widescreen standard video format 16:9. And then you also have the square. The square are the most commonly used ones. The vertical ones take more space in the user's feed, and that's a good reason to use them. And the rectangle ones are best kind of in a video format. They're also not as good on mobile because they take less space. So a square video is a better thing. And you can make actually square videos because they are generated from the images that we are going to add. Right. So first of all, the way these ads work, I will not be doing a vertical one though. So when you create a slideshow, you can just go here to square. Now you can also use some of these templates. As you can see, some of them are quite cool. But my favorite one is just this standard example where you have kind of the same background and you either represent different products or tell a story or make a short, very quick 15-second presentation to illustrate the value of your product. And this is what we are going to do now. We are not going to select any of the templates over here. We're just going to create our own slideshow. And here it says show between 3 and 10 images in a video up to 15 seconds long. What that means is that if you select this, if you want your image duration to be 5, meaning that each of the images you show lasts for 5 seconds, then you can add only 3. If you want, if you put them to last for a second, then you can add 10 and your video will end up being 10 seconds. And if you go with a 0.5, you can kind of switch them faster, but you have to get very creative for that. So in this case, let's stop with 3 seconds, and you have the option to choose between a transition and no transition, and you can also choose some music. In this case, I won't be using the music. So let's add our photos. We have 5 photos that we have for this, and we want to order them correctly. So let's do that. Right. And in this case, I will choose the fade transition, or I'll leave it off so you can see kind of how it works, but the fade is fine. So we have 5 images provided by our designer. They are all together one ad, so they need to be consistent in this case, or in some other cases you could just present different products, like on the blue example that Facebook provides. Right, so let's play that video and see how it looks. We have Masters Academy, most advanced courses, 30-day money-back guarantee, and then start your free trial, right? So it's kind of a one consistent message. I think 3 seconds is a bit slow, so I'll play it faster and I'll make it 10 seconds. So Masters Academy, Master Digital Marketing, most advanced marketing courses online, 20 full courses, 30-day money-back guarantee, start your free trial. That's a little bit fast, so maybe I'll choose to go with the 3 seconds. But you also need to know that people don't want to spend 15 seconds, but still, we want them to be at least able to read what you want to say. They can, of course, rewatch it. So some people tend to go with the faster changing, and I like the fade transition. So this is my final result. Now, before we continue, I actually want to show you something that kind of makes this work. And this is, I'll just show you the images. So take note that they are all with our branding. They have a similar background, and this is what kind of makes the video possible. If you have completely different images, it's very noticeable that you are changing images. But if they have a similar background, it kind of makes for a more smooth video. And so we have them on a similar background. And that's kind of how this effect is achieved. And then we can click here, create slideshow, and our slideshow is going to appear. Now, of course, we also have our primary text, headline, and description. And since here we are doing a general offer for Masters Academy, we could say something like join Masters Academy, and so on. I actually have a prepared version of this ad just so we don't waste a lot of time. And here I want to show you some cool things that you can do with these ads. So first of all, you can use Emojipedia like we did here to get some of these cool emojis that can be used into the ads. I'm pretty sure you have seen them in ads, and this makes your ad copy stand out a little bit more and make it a little bit more clear. Now, these two copies are kind of the same. Well, not kind of, they are the same, but this one is more organized, but it's longer, and people can read less of it. And this one is shorter, but is less noticeable, right? So we don't know which one works best, and that's why we clicked the add another option over here. So we want to test which of these two is going to perform better. And then, of course, you can do that with headlines as well, and with your descriptions as well. As you can see over here, I've also tagged my link with the campaign URL builder, because I want to be able to track the performance of this campaign outside of Facebook as well. I want to have it in Google Analytics, where I will track all my different campaigns. Our call to action in this way, in this case, is sign up, and it's a ready slideshow ad. Now, why would we use that format? So Masters Academy is a bit of a more risky proposition, right? We mentioned before that when we were selling the early bird promotion, and all the 20 courses in Masters Academy were $100, then it's not a big risk, right? It's like $5 per course. I'm sure it's gonna be all right. And a lot of people paid the $100. Now, as soon as we increased the price, the risk for our users increased almost double, like from 100 to 200, the risk increased. And so single image ads stopped working. And so we needed to add more to our value proposition, add additional information to account for the higher risk. And so in this case, with a slideshow, we can provide a little bit more information than we can with a single image. And this is where the slideshows really shine. And another good use for them is to just make videos cheaper and faster, because creating an actual video can be a lot more expensive and a lot more time consuming, and it might still not work at the end. So it's also a good testing platform to create a little slideshow of what you want to do as a video, like basically upload your storyboard as a slideshow, test it, and then maybe shoot a very cool video in that format. And you can do that with the confidence that it will work in the end. Right, so we've covered carousels and slideshows. We know how to use them already, and it's time for us to move on to the best performing ad format on Facebook, the video ads.